Incredible evening. Hello, everyone. Incredible evening. How are you guys doing tonight? All right. Um, I am going to take a moment to go ahead and share this out. This is a live broadcast. If you are watching the playback of it, this was recorded live. So I do need to go ahead and share it out. So during this time, you're going to hear some silence, and you'll just jump ahead a little bit until you hear sound again or you see my screen change. All right. So just allow me a moment to go ahead and share this out from my page, and I will be right back. Alrighty. It's not coming up just yet. For me to share it out. So I'm just gonna kind of hold my phone here until it pops up, and then I'll be able to share it out. Okay, I think it's coming through now. Um, Actually, no. Oh, there it is. Haha. All right, so that popped up, and hold on 1 second. Oh, wait, that was the one for YouTube. All right, so don't know why this isn't coming up. I'm just going to monitor my phone. The moment it pops up for me to share, I'm going to share. But for now, we're just going to keep it moving so that there's not so much silence on the live broadcast. You guys are going to see my screen, my banner. So you're not, sometimes you guys say, oh, I can hear you, but I can't see you. The camera's not on me. You're going to see my banner until we go over to the computer, where we're going to talk about properly sizing for various things, right? But welcome, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365 LLC. We are the parent company of Silaholics Anonymous, which is where I've been teaching you guys how to use Select Studio as a design software, as well as with the cutting machines if you have them, for the past 7 years. We also own the Honestly Speaking line of products and my Academy 365 Creative Academy, where I teach you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of classes. All right. So that's a little bit about who I am. So why is this important? You have to know how to properly size your designs so that it is aesthetically pleasing to the eye when it's on various items. And then you have to know about landscape and portrait. That's the part that's so important. Is your design landscape, portrait, or is it a square? And how does it fit within that? Okay. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then when you're looking at it on different substrates, I personally, I choose to use and teach from Silhouette Studio. These this information, should I say, will apply to to any program you're using, no matter what program you're using. These tips and these guidelines, I guess you can say, apply to whatever software you are using. I just use Silhouette Studio, and that's going to be the program that we reference in this video. All right, it's still not coming up for me. Am I even live? Okay, I'm all live over there. Still not coming from my phone, but that's okay. All right. So let's go ahead and head over to, excuse me, my screen. All right. So if you're if you've already enrolled in my Essentials to Silhouette Studio, you guys saw me design this today, went through showing you guys all of the different design techniques for designing this. If you are enrolled in Essentials to Silhouette Studio and you missed that video, that live video, definitely go and check that out, because you got to see exactly how all of these were set up. Now, I am technically making these for my niece, and I had to set up the design because I'm going to put them on canvases. I'm also going to put it somewhat a version of this on pajamas, as well as creating cutouts and then making custom treat boxes, because there's 8 girls. So rather than do like this really big like treat table and sweet table, I'm gonna do some custom treat boxes for them for the sleepover. All right. And because I had to do it for the canvas, now I don't have the canvases with me just yet. I'm waiting for her to bring them, so I don't even know like what size it is. So that is another reason why I set it up where both, like I set up in both orientations. Sorry about that. My son knocked over the door. So that's why I kind of set it up in 2 different ways, because I don't know what type of canvases she's going to bring me. I also like I don't know what sizes, and then I'm going to ask her, like, if it is one that's long versus square, which orientation she would like based off of how she wants the kids to paint on it. If you're in the ink zone, you'll get to see me make these canvases whenever she brings them to me. It'll be sometime this week because the event is, well, the sleepover starts, I think it starts on Friday night or the Saturday night. I'm not sure if it goes from Friday to Saturday or Saturday to Sunday, but I'll be making these sometime this week. Okay. Make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up if you have not done so already. If you're watching over on YouTube, if you're watching over on Facebook, go ahead, hit that like button, the hearts, the care, the wow. Hell, you can hit the mad face and the angry face, the sad face. It's all engagement. So I just ask that you guys engage with the live broadcast. That's a way to say thank you for providing you guys all of this amazing free content that is surely going to help you in your creative endeavors. And if you are so inclined to do so as well, go ahead and hit that share button and share it out with others who may benefit from this information. And I still don't have a live broadcast. Alrighty then. That's so crazy. I don't know why it's taking forever for it to pop up. But for those of you who are here, I'm glad that you guys found it, because, oh, you know what? It's not, I mean, yeah, it hasn't popped up at all because I am seeing 0 over on Soloholics Anonymous. Don't know why that is, but it's okay. You guys have found me. That's why I always go live in multiple places. You guys have found me. So let's go ahead and get into this. Excuse me. All right. So designs can be set up 2 ways. Well, really, I mean, I guess you could say kind of like 3, although this one might be on the squarish size. I'm actually going to check that one. But usually your design is going to be set up in portrait, where it is longer than it is wider, or it's going to be set up for landscape, where it is wider than it is tall. Or you can have something that's pretty much a square, or like even when you do a circle, that's going to fit like, I mean, when you're sizing it, you're going to fit it within a square box because it's going to be even. So you have to understand that part first of, like that's the first part of like really understanding how to size your design, is knowing what type of layout it is. I often hear people ask, all right, I only have a small format printer. I can print 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14. Am I able to put that design on a large or extra large shirt, or even like a 2X shirt? A lot of people think that they're very limited when it comes to, especially sublimation, when it comes to the smaller format printers. And it really depends on the design. If you're trying to do something that is like a really big full chest, and it's long and you want to be kind of wide, of course, 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14 isn't going to really work for the larger shirts. But there's going to be times where your design is not super stacked. Like it's not really busy. It's not wide and tall. It might be a single line going across the chest. And on average, like for a 2X shirt, all you need is like 11, 12 inches, depending on how wide you want it to go across. A 3X shirt, around 13 inches. A 4X shirt, around like 14, 15 inches, as far as how I teach my students to measure for shirts. So if you are part of the Ink Zone, you guys were a part of that conversation where I taught you guys how to properly size for your shirts. And if you want to go back through my old videos, I have talked about that a time or two in some of the different videos. So you can guys go and find that, or you can go to the Ink Zone where it is properly labeled for you. And that's all that video was about. So if your design doesn't go past 8.5 inches high, but as you scale it to, let's say like 14, if it doesn't go higher than 8.5 inches, or let's just say 8 inches, because you have like the border, like the margin around it, you can use it for a 3X shirt. You can do 3X designs if you have a smaller format printer. Also, if things aren't quite connected, you can do them in, strategically do them in separate prints, and you can press them, especially if you have a large format print, heat press, but maybe a smaller printer. So if the design is not connected, all you have to do is, print them out separately. So you are not limited to smaller shirts just because you have a small format printer. And if it is a bigger design, you can print them out and piece them together. Now, the one thing with that is there's really no way to avoid that line of demarcation. I don't care what you do, because it's two pieces of paper laid on top of each other, you really can't avoid that. But we are going to talk about that in my sublimation seminar that is coming up September 26th through October 1st. 6 days of deep diving into sublimation. And it's, it can be sublimation for beginner. I put sublimation for beginners and beyond, because I give you all the information that you need to know about sublimation. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, go ahead and type in the comments me, type in the comments me if you want to know more about the sublimation seminar that's coming up September 26th through October 1st. All right. So over here, this design, and let me just group it together, is the same size as this one. It's the same size as this one, right? Okay. But now these two right here, this is 17. These are just random sizes right now. So this is 17 by 377 by 11,368. 11,368. 17 by 377, right? So it looks amazing here in something that is landscape. This is a design that is longer than it is taller. So if you were to try and put this on something that was portrait, it will not work on this. You would have to make it smaller. So then it would end up being something like this, where you're going to resize it to where it can fit in there and not be right up to the edge. But what that does is it leaves you a lot of negative space, a lot of negative space. So if you're wanting something that was more like you wanted your canvas to be displayed portrait instead of landscape, this particular layout may not work for you. So then you'll have to adjust it. So these are all the same size squares, but now this design that is more of, actually, I want to say, let's see if this is more square. It's probably just a tad bit of a rectangle design. Yeah. So, I mean, if I go like this, it's to the edge, and here it's like only a little bit. So it's slightly rectangular, but it's more so like a square type design. But something like this, you would end up having to change the orientation of it so that it is like, it's better and it's aesthetically pleasing when you're looking at it or you're using it on something that is going to be portrait versus landscape. Understand? Are you guys with me? Making sense to you? Helping you right now? Okay. So, that's like one of the things you have to look at. And this is just like for a canvas, right? So if I go to, let's go over here for like this shirt. I'm going to pull these over yonder. Now, if this was for a 3X shirt, a 2X shirt, this particular design, if I were to size it out to, let's say, if we're going to use 8.5 by 14 paper, so let's just say 13.5, right? That's a really large shirt that I can put this on. And the height is only 7.5. I actually still have some wiggle room. For a large shirt, if I take this down to about 10.5, 10.25, 11, that's only 6 inches in height. So you can do larger shirts, even if you have a small format printer. It just depends on your design. Now, if it was like this and you wanted to make the design, let's say, well, let's just go to like 11 inches. Because this is square, it's going to be, almost like the same thing. So that won't work for 8.5. So you have to work within the size limits. So for this, if you only have 8.5 by 11, you're going to have to make sure that one of the sizes is no bigger than, like, let's say 8.25. So the largest for 8.5, and because this is square, right? This is more so of a square design. So your height and your width are going to be fairly close in size, if not the same, if it's truly a square. So you're not going to be able to kind of really sneak sneak much more out of it. So I can take the width, and because this is only 7.9. So I'm going to pull this out to 8.25, somewhere in there. So I have 8 by 7. I will never be able to, it would be a waste of paper to try and put this on 8.5 by 14, because I'm not going to get past 11 inches in height because I only have 8.5 inches to work with. So no matter if I do it rotated, like if I rotate it for portrait or landscape, I only have 8.5 inches with a square type design. If it was a little bit longer, you probably could get away with it to where once you pull the width to 8.5, your height might end up being 10, 11. If the design was set up a little bit different. We're going to talk about sizing and setting up designs. I forget which day that is. I want to say that's day 4 or 5 for setting up designs. Okay. But square type designs, you are very limited. So if you want to kind of sneak some space, whether it is width or height for larger shirts, you want to create designs that are going to be longer. So you want to separate them and maybe not have it be so far down. If you watch the video when I set this up, if you're in the 30-day training, you'll understand what I mean as far as where you position, because I told you guys why I strategically put these in these spots. But if you needed to make a design longer, or what you can do, like for this one, how you can make the design appear to be longer is to add more information at the bottom. So let's say we add, since it's for a birthday party, I can put a 6 somewhere. I can write in text that says, Harmony's 6th birthday bash or something like that, to where I can extend it, or I either at the bottom, or I can move this down, add text to the top and also to the bottom. So now I'm making it where it is a longer design and it may not look so small on a shirt. Okay. So then we're going to come back over here to the ones for the canvases. So for these two, do they look to be the same size design? And for these top two here, they look to be the same size design. Someone says, this is why pricing is so important for larger size shirts. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, it says Thomas and Tasha or Natasha. Thank you so much for sharing the live broadcast. So someone said, no, they don't look the same size. Yes, they look the same size. Yes, the paper is just rotated. So sometimes your eyes can play tricks on you based off of how something is set up, because this takes up more real estate. It appears to be bigger. Whereas with this one, because it takes up less real estate, it appears to be smaller. They are the same size, but depending on what you have it on, it can look larger or smaller. Guess what? It's the same thing for shirts, right? So when we're stressing over, should we go and create a different size for each size shirt, like a different print, a different cut of HTV for different size shirts? If you go to a store and you look at a lot of the shirts, like these shirts that are mass produced, from an extra small to a 2X to a 3X, you're going to find that the designs are exactly. If you kind of go and manipulate the shirt and get it to line up and see how big it is, or go to the school supply section and get you a ruler and measure it, you're going to see they're the same size. But on certain, depending on which size shirt it's on, it's going to seem like it's bigger, or it's going to seem like it's smaller. So like this is showing you that. So going top to bottom, it looks like it takes up more real estate. Here you have a lot more negative space. So are we starting to see how important knowing sizing and then knowing your orientation and knowing how your design is set up? Do you have a rectangle type design that is portrait or landscape, or if you have a square design where it's going to pretty much be the same size all the way around? Are we starting to see the importance of that? Make sure that you guys do give this video a thumbs up if you are enjoying the content. Make sure you guys hit share. I do it all the time. That's how I know these things. I used to do it all. I used to actually do it all the time. All the time. And then this is just another representation, exact same box, right? These are the exact same, but this is now a design to where, like on with this one, it kind of, also like changing the orientation for like what's the bigger part of a design and things like that. So this one, like where it was placed at with this particular font compared to this particular font, because these are the same exact silhouettes of the Barbie head. So where, depending on where you place it at. So if I go and take this one, we're going to bring it to the front. So they are about the same width, right? About the same width. However, this head over here is much larger. It's all in how you design it. Sometimes designs are optical illusions, and the artist will adjust certain things to draw your eyes to a certain section or to fill something out. This is also text that's slanted versus being straight up and down. So although they are the same here, height-wise, they are not, because this is a larger head. The text is slanted. So it's going to be bigger because it's, when it's on an angle, you can kind of make it a little bit bigger versus it going like straight out. So although they are about the same width, they are not the same height. And it's all in how you design. Knowing how to design for your substrates is so important, guys. It's so important. Do you guys, really sit and consider and think about like how you're sizing or how you arranging, even if you're just pulling in like PNGs and stuff? Do you think about the placement of it, the composition of it, and how it's going to affect the overall look on your final substrate? If that's not something that you think about, you definitely want to stick around to hear about the Sublimation Seminar that is happening October 26th through October 1st, because we're going to go over this and more in the seminar. So if you are just joining right now, I'm talking about and teaching about sizing for different designs, different substrates, and also we have a sublimation seminar. So if you are interested in more information about the seminar, go ahead and type in me, and then also stick around towards the end so that I can give you guys. Oh, now it wants to pop up. Now it literally just popped up 26 minutes in, and Facebook just broadcast over on Silaholics Anonymous. That is crazy. Wow. Okay, so this is kind of looking at canvases. And then we took a look at shirts as well. So there we go. So took a look at shirts. And then, so this canvas is one that's square. So you can see like how this is as a square. It's going to take up, it's not going to leave very much negative space. It's going to take up the majority of the canvas and not leave a lot of negative space on the top, bottom, or the sides, because it was made into more of a square type design. So let's say, if I were choosing it, which I'm going to actually tell her, I'm going to send it to her because I'm not sure if she's purchased the canvases already. I'm going to ask like, okay, would you prefer square canvases or longer ones? Or suggest like what she should get, when it comes to this, based off of which design she chooses. So you can see here on a square one, it's pretty even as far as the negative space. Now, let's take a look at something like a mug. If you are wanting the design to be on one side of the mug, right? Typically, you have about 3 3/4 worth of space as far as height. So that's going to help you decide how large to make your design. And then also whether or not it is centered. Do you want to leave a little bit of space at the top and bottom and not go all the way to the top? So depending on how your design is set up, if you end up going, don't go by the sizes, because of course, this picture is huge. But if you were to take your design and make it to where it's going to go like all the way to the top, will it still be visible from one side, or is some of it going to curve around? There are going to be some designs where, they really want to see that. If you hold the mug facing out, you want to be able to see the entire design and not have some of it wrap around it where you can't really see it and you have to kind of turn it to see the full design. That's important to know. How do you want the design to be viewed, like when someone's looking at it? So it may end up having to make it a little bit smaller. So then we have to also think about your heat press or your heating element. There are some heat presses where the heating element does not go close to the handle. And if you go like, you kind of have like a little safe zone. If you play around and, you test the waters and you try and make your design go to right where the heating element ends, you might end up with ghosting and not a real full design on the ends of, of your print. So you have to adjust that in more. So although you may want to go top to bottom as far as the height is concerned, if it is a design that is longer, if it is landscape, you can't make it go further than what your mug press will allow you to press. Tumblers are different. There's no handle on it. But when using a mug press, you have to consider how close it gets to the handle. And if you have cold spots on the edge of your handle, we're going to talk about all of that because I have several mug presses that press them in different ways. Or if you're going to use an oven where that doesn't become a factor. We're going to discuss all of that in the Sublimation Seminar. So when choosing which layout or which design or how you size it for mugs or tumblers, you have to look at the design as a whole. Maybe for a tumbler, because you have so much real estate going upward, you like this same design will look really small on it, like we did on the other page. Or you may want to take one that's longer, rotate it so that you can cover more surface. So rather than wrap it around the tumbler where it's going to be just kind of in the center, you may want to rotate it, whether it's a full design, if it's just someone's name, you may want to rotate it so it takes up more of the height of a tumbler. Making sense? All right. So let's see. Where can I find the mock-ups that you use? I just Google. So it's just Googling a mug, Googling canvases. The shirt probably was one I Googled or from one of the sites that I purchased shirts from. So they're not like anything fancy, something that you pay for. I just Googled them. Let's see. Okay, same question. All right. So before I get into the Sublimation Seminar, are there any questions for me about sizing? And then I'm going to let you guys know about the Sublimation Seminar, how you can save 50% on it. But I want to make sure that you guys don't have any questions. Did this kind of help you guys understand sizing a little bit more if you've struggled with sizing and trying to figure out like, okay, well, how do I make my design fit? Or is there anyone here who's been afraid to attempt to do 2X or like just larger shirts because you have a small format printer? Very straightforward. Awesome. And then she said, yes, cool beans. That's even if only one person, if it worked for you and it was helpful for you, that is always my goal, is to help at least one person every time I go live. So that's great. That actually had two. So one from Facebook and one from YouTube. So now let's talk about this sublimation seminar that is coming up at the end of the month. All right. Coming up at the end of the month. We're going to click right here. So we have 6 days, Monday through Saturday, 6 amazing days of content and information. And it will most likely answer so many of the questions that you have. You won't end up being so frustrated when you're doing sublimation, understanding what the heck is going on with your printer, your colors, understanding all of like the different lines you will see when you print out. Well, why do I, what is this line compared to this? What is it that causes this? How do you fix it? We are going to tap into all of that. All right, so I have someone here that says, yes, this did help me. Very helpful information. Just started working on slicing and putting larger images together. Okay. And then we have to catch the replay. All right. So 7 days. Day 1, we're going to go through Sublimation 101. 101. What is it that what is sublimation in general? How is it beneficial to your creative journey and your creative endeavors? I'm not going to necessarily say business, because everyone does not do this for business. You may want to have this, as to complement your business. You may not want to make anything for anyone else, but it's a way for you to save money in your own business, to create your own promotional items. Just because you have a sublimation printer doesn't mean that you have to sell sublimation items to others. It can be a money-saving skill to learn for your business. So now you don't have to outsource in the beginning so much of your promotional things, and all you're going to make is just straight promotional. So if you are someone that has not thought about getting into sublimation just yet, like, oh, okay, well, I don't really need that. I do X, Y, and Z. I make candles. Why do I need a sublimation printer? I do, well, if you do events, you definitely need a sublimation printer, because there's so many things that you can do. But let's say, you are a fitness instructor. If you happen to be on here, you're a fitness instructor. You're someone that wanted to create a cookbook and things like that. Like, you can create so many promotional items for whatever your business is and never have to sell it. So it is important to learn about the ins and outs of sublimation and how it can be beneficial to you. So we're going to go through the basics of it. What does it mean? What do you have to, what can be sublimated? What do you need to get started with sublimation? If you don't already have your equipment and this is something that you have been considering, join us September 26th through October 1st. This will answer a lot of questions for you. It's better for you to invest. So right there, you see $73.65. However, if you click the link that's in the description of the video, or I'm going to actually put it in the comment section right now as well. You click on that one, it's going to automatically at checkout take off 50%. If you can't click on the link for, whatever reason, if you go to our website, oh wait, it didn't save. Hold on. Or was I on the wrong one? Oh man. Wait a minute now. Oh, it didn't save. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't think it's saved. 1 second. Let me make sure. Let me go over here and see if I somehow put it on the wrong one. Ooh, I didn't. I have no idea what happened to it. Interesting. I guess I did not hit save on there. But the code is right size, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about properly sizing. So the code to get 50% off. Okay. Use code right size for 50% off 2022 Sublimation Seminar. Add banner. Okay, there we go. So we're going to use the code right size without the quotation mark. So right size, you get 50% off of the Sublimation Seminar. That code will be available for a limited time. So use the code right size for 50% off of the Sublimation Seminar. If you took the one that was last year, somewhat along the same lines, but we're going to break it up because we ended up having to do like 3 days, and then they were like really, really long days. We don't want to run into that again. So we're this year I decided to like really, really break it up as far as the days. So day 1, going over the basics. What all do you need? I'm going to break down those printers again. Not quite as detailed as I did in the YouTube video, because I'm going to provide you guys that link if you really want to go through it, but I'm going to let you know what printers are currently available, because even for the eco tanks, from the last time I did my video, Epson has changed the numbers. So it was the 2700 series. Now they have the 28 series. So it's just new printers all the way around. I think since the last time I did it, I'm not sure if like I talked about the F170 in that one. And I'm finally going to set up my Sawgrass printer before it, so you'll get to see a comparison. You guys will be the first to see the full-on comparison from a Sawgrass and an Epson printer side by side, from the Epson EcoTank, the Sawgrass, and an Epson Workforce printer. So when we do like the last day, the demo day, you guys are going to see like the differences in that. So I'm finally going to set up my Sawgrass. So we're going to go through all the different printers, like just important information that you need to know about how can you put a design on a darker shirt or like a non-polyester shirt, how much polyester. We're going to have examples of like real true examples of what designs look like when it's on like high polyester versus mid polyester versus lower polyester count. So we're going to go through like all of that. Day 2, we are going to get a better understanding of heat presses and heat sources. So like for tumblers and mugs, I love an oven. I love the thought of using an oven because of just how evenly it will, we kind of have some hiccups sometimes, but you can get closer to your handle. You can do more items in your heating element as long as it's a good heating element, right? Or heat source. So we're going to talk about the different ones. We're going to talk about like if you choose to get an oven, some of the ovens that I've kind of come across, and like my top picks for those different things based off of like size. I'm going to break down how the size of something can affect how it subs and whether or not it's going to burn if you have to adjust your temperatures. So we're going to get a better understanding of how to choose the right temperature based off of your substrate, based off of the heat press that you're using, if it's a quality one, even based off of the paper. Although we sell paper, we would love for you guys to purchase some HS ink paper so that you can experience, even if it's just the sample pack, so that when we do the hands-on sublimation demo, and I'm also going to compare and show you guys the differences between our paper and other papers. So, because I don't want you guys to feel like, okay, you have to use HS ink paper. For me, it's a knowledge. We have a product that's an amazing product. Anyone that purchased it, it works for 93.65% of the people who purchase it. Some, it's just not their cup of tea, and we respect that. And I'm still here to help with all the other information. So day 3, we're going to go through some of the common mistakes and errors that come up. That way you guys don't spend so much time on those, and you will know exactly like what to look for, how to possibly fix those. Like I said, from if you're getting pinwheels, if you're getting streaks, if you're getting ink blobs, if you're getting like your colors are off, how to know as soon as you print it out. Like I can literally look at people's pictures and they post it in groups, and they said, okay, well, what's wrong with my colors? Why is it not vibrant? You're missing this color. You're missing that color. Do a nozzle check. Check and see if you're missing that. So I'm going to teach you how to troubleshoot your own mistakes and errors so that you can figure out what's going on and maybe not have to wait and get 1,000 different answers from a Facebook post, if you even get an answer, and then you try out some of those things and they still don't work, right? I see so many people tell when they have like clogs, oh, do a power clean, do all these print head cleanings. Man, that does nothing whatsoever. And we're going to discuss it in day 3. Day 4, we're going to go over different design software. So we're going to break that down. Well, what is the benefit of like learning Photoshop or Affinity Photo or Affinity Designer or Procreate or Silhouette Studio? Is there advantages or disadvantages to using things that are already on your computer, like Microsoft Word, Publisher? I've even heard some people say they use PowerPoint to print out their designs. I don't get it. When you're printing or you're designing in apps such as like Procreate or PixArt or even Canva, how do you go and properly bring that into a software or a system that you can properly size and print it? So we are going to break down design softwares as far as their pros and their cons. What are they used for? What's the benefit of each one? As a beginner, what might be, a little bit more user-friendly for you. Of course, I always feel like that Silhouette Studio. So we're going to break that down. how to size. If you are starting off and you're just going to purchase designs and you just want to know, how do I bring this in? How do I size it? How do I remove the background on some of these images? Maybe you got it from a dump on one of the groups. How do I remove this? One of the things I get asked all the time, man, can I clean up this image? We're going to break that down. Like when you're getting JPEGs and PNGs and stuff, and it's not a great quality, we can't all the time like force something that just is not quality to be as such. And you're just going to have to either, find another source, find the original images. But a lot of these apps he would tell you to use, I mean, all they're doing is like basically photoshopping it and making it like smooth. And that works for like pictures and stuff like that and like faces. But it's like, it's so crazy to me because they'll use that one, what is it called? Remy or something like that. The face will be all smooth, but then the rest of the picture is still grainy and still like the original one. It's like, it's so weird to me when I see that. So we're going to break all that down. Then we're going to go through different substrates. Understanding, how you have to adjust your temperature, your time, your pressure, ones that might be good money makers for you if you're doing this for business. If you're doing this and like just for fun or just for your personal use, or you're going to do it for promotion for your business, we're going to talk about different substrates that and like the purposes that they serve. I'm going to give you guys some suggestions on places that you can get items from. And then day 6, we're going to do some hands-on sublimation. So a part of like day 1 is understanding colors. So on that day, I'm going to give you the assignment. We're going to right now the list isn't up, but you guys should get an email in a couple of days on things that you might need if you want to participate on the last day, as far as hands-on sublimation, so that if you run into an issue, you can ask me in real time. So I'm going to give you guys a list of things that I'm going to end up pressing. So you guys will get that list and you can have those on hand. One of the main things is having the color chart, because you're going to press that to felt sheets or to fabric so that you can really truly see how those, like how your colors and things work. So those who did the Sublimation Seminar last year, we went and we have that one, and then you're going to get another download, which is my Skittles one. And I explained to you why that Skittles one is such a good reference for color. So you'll get that information there, and then you'll be able to press that. So I will give you all the things that you need for the last day if you want to participate live, so that if you run into the issues, you can ask questions. Or if you're someone that's going to get this after the live sessions, because you'll have forever access to it. After the first, it will still be up, and you guys can purchase access to the playbacks if you don't want to attend live. And you'll still be able to follow along on that last day. So the code for 50% off is right size. Right size is the code for 50% off of the Sublimation Seminar. Sounds good to you guys? When have you ever seen a session, whether it's a class, a course? You said it's not, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Somebody said it's not giving 50% off. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Why is it not? Oh, we did actually change it. So it was actually giving you 45. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust that. Boom, it's done. Thank you guys for letting me know that, because originally it was 45%. I see some of you guys have already purchased it. We will handle that on the back end. But yes, now it is 50% off. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that it was not showing 50%. Okay. They said, just go ahead and use Honestly Speaking paper, because A-Sub paper is a no-go. I didn't say it. So yeah. All of my classes, I have never done a class, never done a seminar. I've never done anything where I am teaching where you don't get playbacks. Everything that I do, everyone has lives. You may not be able to watch it right now. You may not even need it, because I'm hoping that we get some people who are on the fence. I'd rather you go and spend basically 40 some odd bucks right now, and be able to get the information you need, versus investing hundreds of dollars into this and it's not even something that's going to work for you. So you'll always have playbacks for it. She says, finally, the sawgrass. Don't expect a lot of videos from it. It's probably going to sit there. It's probably going to dry up because I'm an Epson girl all day through and through. So let's see. Thank you for letting me know that again. Let's see. Am I missing anything else? Okay, so it will be, so the first day, because it is like the most important day, there are 2 sessions. There is a session at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and then there is a 6:30 p.m. session. You can attend both of them. It's going to literally be the exact same information. The only thing that might be different is questions. So on that first day, it is 2 days. And then the one for the software breakdown, which is Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. It is also a 2 days, like a two time slot session. So there is 12 noon and there is 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the other times are 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. They are 12 noon. I can't do these, in the evening for the entire evening, but for the entire week. But day 1 and day 4, there are 2 sessions, a 12 noon and also a 6:35, because those are some of the more important days. The other ones are important too, but as far as like ones that might bring up a lot of questions, those are like the 2. So you have 2 opportunities. Heat presses and things like that. It's going to be 12 noon. Day 3, common mistakes and errors, 12 noon. Friday, understanding substrates, 12 noon. And then Saturday, of course, it's a Saturday, so it will be 12 noon as well. Okay. Any questions for me about the sublimation seminar? If you just jumped on, I've never ever done a class. So that's one question, you guys. If you're new here, or if you're old here and you've seen my videos before, you kind of heard me talk about classes. The one thing you never ever have to worry about is not getting playbacks. Every last one of my classes. Right now, there are people who took my class and took this one last year. They can go back and watch the playback from that. I don't send you the playback. You literally have immediate access to the playbacks of it. There's nothing for me to send out to you. And I have people who took a class in 2018, 2019, actually 2018, still have access to the playbacks as well. So every last one of my classes comes with playbacks. I've never done a teaching that doesn't have playbacks when it's an official teaching. Thank you, Don. All right. So make sure that you guys will see the post for this. Share this post. When you see the post come up, check our page, share it with someone. All right. If you can't post in the group, maybe, find out from, like, if you see someone asking a question and this might be beneficial for them, see if you can inbox them. Because I know sometimes groups don't like for you to post direct links and things like that. So, but share it out. Share it out when you guys see the post come up. She says, I still have all of my classes that I've ever had with Shakia. Exactly. Is this a class I am doing? Don't nobody teach for me. I teach you guys here. You hear my voice on my live videos. I actually enjoy doing this. I'm the one that does all. So eventually my school will grow, but they will be trained properly by me to where it's going to be an extension of me. But no one teaches my classes but me. When you come and you're attending a class and I'm advertising, it is a class that I myself am teaching. I love what I do. So that's one, like, the teaching part is the part that I love. The ink and the paper, that's supplemental. That's a smart business move. But I enjoyed the teaching part, which is why I end up giving out so much information for free. But yes, so I teach it. All right. So if there are no questions about the Summation Seminar, I will hopefully see some of you guys there. I see quite a few more people have come on. You guys have to watch the playback of this. I don't want to be on past an hour, but in the beginning of this live broadcast, we did go over sizing. A lot of great information about knowing how to identify the type of design that you're making, whether it is a landscape design, a portrait design, or if it is a square design. And then once you identify that, then it's going to help you know how to size it depending on which substrate you're putting it on. Okay. Also, there might be a little, those who sign up, I just thought about something. I might have to wait till October 1st for that one because I don't know. That might be interesting to do it that way. Might have found out a solution for my ink zone. So yeah. All right. So thank you guys again so very much for joining me this evening. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Don't forget, use the code right size for 50% off. The information, the content, 6 days, y'all. It is 6 days. I mean, I can't say how long the code is going to be good for. I mean, you can try it. If you can't use it today, you can try it in a couple of days. It may or may not work. Can't tell you. But the early bird gets the worm. All right. It's 6 days. If you click on the link, it'll take you over to it and you can see everything that's there. Okay. So just head over to the website, click on the link. If you're not going to purchase today, click on the link and it gives you the information. You'll be able to see the thumbnail. And then like the description will fill in sometime tomorrow, but you can just click on there. Okay. Karen, Miss Karen, you will have to watch it back. I just went over the times for it. So you'll just have to watch this back, go to around like 50 minutes or so. And that's where I talked about the times and things like that. Okay. All right. All righty. Each session is depending on like how many questions you guys ask, about an hour and a half for information from me. And then depending on how much, if you guys end up asking a bunch of questions, but it's slated for an hour and a half. That's why it's so many days versus me just doing them over 2 days. And we were in those sessions for like 6 hours, so. All righty. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Hope that I will see you guys at the end of the month. Peace.